For what, like 2 decades, the mantra in tech was so simple. Cloud first. Everything was moving to these giant, centralized data centers run by just a handful of companies. It felt totally inevitable, right? Like that was just the future of computing, period. But, behind the scenes, something else has been happening. A massive reversal is underway. A huge migration away from the cloud.
And that, right there, is the central mystery we're going to unravel in this explainer. If the cloud was the promised land, infinite scale, super efficient, why are companies, and even entire nations, building escape routes? What did they figure out that made them turn back? Okay, let's get into it.
Our investigation kicks off with this number, and it's a staggering one. According to the latest data, a full 86% of CIOs are actively pulling workloads out of the public cloud. Now, this isn't some small trend. That's the highest level of this repatriation ever recorded. This is a seismic shift, and we're about to find out exactly why it's happening.
So the reasons for this mass exodus, well, they're not obvious at first. They're kind of hidden in a series of legal, economic, and technological clues. But when we piece them all together, they reveal this powerful new force that's reshaping our digital world, something called the sovereign imperative.
So our first clue is a legal bombshell. It's something that fundamentally broke the cloud's big promise of security and privacy, and it created a problem that no amount of slick marketing could ever fix. Here it is, the U.S. Cloud Act of 2018. This single piece of legislation sent an earthquake through the tech world. It basically meant that if your cloud provider is a U.S. company, American authorities can demand your data. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if your servers are in Frankfurt or Tokyo or anywhere else on the planet. This put it in direct conflict with major privacy laws like Europe's GDPR.
And this slide really highlights the crucial difference. For years, we were all told that data residency was enough. Just keep your data on a local server and you're safe. But the Cloud Act proved that what really matters is data sovereignty. It's the nationality of the company, not the location of the server, that decides which government has the final say.
Now, this legal mess didn't just appear out of nowhere. It actually exposed a much deeper problem, what some people call the original sin of the cloud model. It was designed from day one to create dependency, to lock you into one provider's ecosystem, making it incredibly difficult and super expensive to ever leave.
All right, let's move to our second clue. This one isn't about international law. It's about cold, hard cash. That old myth that the cloud is always cheaper, well, it's starting to crumble, big time.
And let me introduce you to one of the biggest culprits, egress fees. Just think of it as an exit tax. Cloud providers literally charge you a hefty fee just to access or move your own data out of their network. It creates this thing called data gravity lock-in, making it so expensive to switch to a competitor that you just don't, even if they're offering a way better or cheaper service. Just look at these numbers for a typical steady workload. In the public cloud, you're paying and paying for compute, for storage, and for those nasty egress fees. But with a sovereign, on-premise setup, you buy the hardware once. The annual cost difference? It's not even close. The result is just crystal clear. For predictable, always-on applications, getting away from the public cloud's rental model can lead to a massive 56% reduction in spending. Suddenly, bringing your data home isn't just about security. It's a really powerful economic strategy.
Okay, our final clue is the most powerful of them all. It's a technology that has completely rewritten the rules and made the old cloud model basically obsolete for the most important work of the future: artificial intelligence.
This has led to this huge new idea of sovereign AI. The concept is pretty simple. A nation's AI models and the gigantic data sets used to train them are now seen as critical national assets. They're way too valuable to be built on or handed over to foreign-controlled platforms where they could be spied on or even shut down. So to achieve real AI sovereignty, you have to control this entire 5-layer stack, from the energy that powers the whole thing to the specialized chips, all the way up to the AI models and the apps themselves. And we're seeing nations make absolutely staggering investments to build it all. India's Adani Group, for instance, is dropping a $100 billion to create an integrated platform connecting their own renewable energy to their own AI data centers. It's wild. So now that we have our clues assembled, the legal trap, the economic drain, and the AI imperative, we can finally see the full picture of what's coming to replace the old cloud model. At the macro level, countries are building these sovereign AI clouds, And these are not your standard data centers. We're talking about high-performance computing facilities using advanced liquid cooling and dedicated power systems, all designed specifically to train and run the massive AI models that are going to define the next 100 years.
And what's really fascinating is how this sovereign idea goes all the way down to the software on your phone. There's a movement called local first, and it's all about redesigning apps so the main copy of your data lives on your device, not on some company's server. It gives control back to you, the user, and breaks that old dependency on the cloud.
We're even seeing it in the hardware you can buy, from powerful personal AI supercomputers that can train models right on your desk to little home servers that let you run your own private cloud. The market is responding. People and businesses want to own their own infrastructure again.
So when you zoom out, you realize these forces are literally redrawing the geopolitical map of the 21st century. The world is kind of fracturing into these distinct digital territories.
And everyone's playing their own game. The EU is building a federated system called Gaia-X. India is focused on what it calls modular autonomy, building its own stack and then exporting that model. The Middle East is using sovereign partnerships with big tech, but making sure it's under local control. It's a truly global shift towards digital independence.
Ultimately, this isn't just about data centers and servers, is it? It's a struggle for cultural and national autonomy in an age where technology shapes everything. It's about having the freedom to build your own future, not just use one built by somebody else.
So, to wrap it all up, the sovereign imperative is driven by 4 key things. It's a legal shield against foreign laws. It's a way to comply with tough new regulations. It's a path to economic freedom from vendor lock-in. And, most importantly, it's the key to strategic autonomy in the age of AI.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty profound question to think about. As control over computing becomes the foundation of economic power, cultural identity, and national security, you really have to ask, has the architecture of our machines become the new architecture of the state itself? It's a big thought, something to chew on.